Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be sharing my math book collection with everyone. I think it's a total of 17 books. It's a mix of different textbooks I've gotten from my classes throughout undergrad and taking several master's classes. It's also just some books that I've got to learn on my own, some of which I haven't started yet, but I plan on starting soon. And I'm just going to go through all of them here in this video. So, another thing I want to mention is almost all of these books are on my Amazon storefront, which I'll link in the description. And I do earn on qualifying purchases. So I earn a commission on qualifying purchases as I'm an Amazon influencer. So I'd appreciate if you could check out my storefront, and if you're interested in any of these books, you could find most of them on my storefront in the affordable math books section. If I had to give a guess, I would say 15 out of the 17 of these are less than $30. So they're very affordable. Some of them I haven't gone through, but from what I've heard and just from what I've skimmed through, all these books are great. So first off, we have Complex Analysis, Princeton Lectures in Analysis by Elias M. Stein and Rami Shakarchi. And I apologize if I mispronounce any of these names. So complex analysis is essentially an extension of real analysis, but in the complex number system. So this is something you should read after you've already taken a real analysis course and have mastered the fundamentals of real analysis. I myself have taken a graduate level real analysis course, so I am well prepared to read this textbook. You could see some of the contents in here. They got problems and proofs for a lot of the theorems. They have exercises at the end of each chapter that you can practice. Most of it is proof, or pretty much all of it is proof based. We got complex analysis. Then we have Foundations of Combinatorics with Applications. I haven't gotten around to reading this book yet, but combinatorics is a field within discrete math that deals with counting objects, and it's very useful in computer science, determining runtime of different algorithms, things of that nature. And it's useful in probability for computing different probabilities in math. It's by Edward A. Bender and S. Gill Williamson. So I got this, I think it was like $15 on Amazon. So I'm looking forward to getting started with that. Seems like it'll be a great book. Then we have a first course in graph theory. So this is also a topic in discrete math, which is a major subfield within mathematics. Also deals a little bit with counting objects and creating these structures called graphs, which are not your typical graphs that you think of in math. They're graphs that consist of nodes and edges. I haven't officially taken a course on graph theory, though I have done some of my own projects on it. And this should be like an upper level undergraduate book, potentially beginning graduate level. This is available on Amazon on my storefront, but I got this from Barnes & Noble used for like $15. I think it's around the same price on Amazon. So definitely recommend reading this book if you're interested in graph theory or if you're potentially taking a course on it. Then we have Introduction to Algebraic Geometry. I started reading this book a little bit and I realized I didn't have the prerequisite knowledge to be able to fully understand the material. I believe you need a fair amount of abstract algebra in order to know how to solve these problems and go through this book. It's by Serge Lang. Seems well written, but I haven't read the full thing. I started reading it, but I couldn't really understand most of it. So I think that once I read my abstract algebra book, I'll be able to better grasp the material in this book. Then we have something a little bit different, Philosophy of Mathematics, which I was able to get through, I think, like a quarter of it so far. It's by Oystein Linnebo. It's a great book so far. If you're interested in the intersection of philosophy and math, it goes over the deeper questions in mathematics and how mathematicians come up with their theorems and their implications in the real world. So, I definitely recommend this book, and it's a good intro book, I think. It's not too long. It's less than 200 pages, so it should be a quick read, depending on how deep you go into it. Then we have a bigger book, Number Theory in Context and Interactive. I was going to take a number theory class in a master's program, but I decided not to take the class. But I bought the book in preparation for it because I like to, sometimes buy textbooks ahead of time and read prior to taking the class. So I haven't officially taken, a standard number theory class, but it seems really interesting to me. So I'm glad I have this book. There's good examples, and I went through some of it, and, there's exercises. There's, it even goes through some coding. I forget what language it's in. I think it's, let me see. I believe it's Sage Math, the coding, the programming available with different exercises and examples in this book. I did take a look at it. Seems pretty cool. Number Theory in Context and Interactive. So we have the AP books, which I used for, tutoring. Definitely useful if you're taking AP Calculus or AP Physics C. Even if you're just learning calculus in college or physics, it has great problems and tests you can go through with solutions. Then, in a similar vein, we have Calculus with Multiple Variables worksheet by Chris McMullen. Also, the AP books, the physics book was written by Robert A. Pelkovitz and Joshua Farkas, and AP Calculus BC was written by David Kahn and the staff of Princeton Review. We have Calculus with Multiple Variables worksheet. Great book by Chris McMullen. I got this for like $15 or $20 on Amazon. If you're taking Calculus 3, this should be very helpful because it has a lot of work through problems, different exercises you can go through with answers in the back so you could check. I also mentioned the abstract algebra, which I need to learn before learning algebraic geometry. Sort of in the name, I should have figured that, but I did take linear algebra, so I wasn't sure. Anyway, this is a affordable book by Charles C. Pinter, Book of Abstract Algebra. Next, we have 50 Challenging Problems in Probability with Solutions by Frederick Mosteller. This isn't really a textbook. It's just 50 problems in probability. I took a bunch of upper-level probability and stats courses in undergrad, so that's of particular interest to me. We have Approaching Asymptotics or Asymptotics by Edward Shinerman. It is a short book. It's related to discrete mathematics. This has a cool cover with an alligator. I think this is particularly useful for runtime of algorithms, just as Combinatorics is, which I'll get into later. We have the solutions manual for a particular linear algebra textbook by Gregory Grant and Maurice Stadler. So this has the exercise problems from the book as well as the solutions. So if you just want the solutions with the problems, this is your go-to book for linear algebra. I believe a lot of it is proof-based. I did take a proof-based linear algebra class, so I think that would be particularly good for me to go through. Next, we have Applied Partial Differential Equations by Richard Haberman. This is the textbook used for the Johns Hopkins Online Applied and Computational Math program. I was going to take the class, but I decided not to. But anyway, I'm still interested in the topic. I'm definitely going to go ahead and read that book. Very dense, and it's a little bit more expensive than the other books, but it's still very good if you want to learn partial differential equations or if you're taking a class on it. Then we have another topic in discrete math, Foundations of Combinatorics with Applications by Edward A. Bender and S. Gil Williamson. So this is related to approaching asymptotics. It's all about counting objects in mathematics, has great applications in computer science, runtime of algorithms, which I mentioned. And that's definitely something I want to get to as well. We have a basic differential equations workbook, similar. It's by the same author as the multivariable calculus workbook, Chris McMullen. Now, I took a graduate level ODEs class, but this will go over the basics of ODEs and I think a little bit of partial differential equations, but it should be mostly ODEs, ordinary differential equations. It comes with the answers to all the practice exercises, so that's a huge plus. And then similarly, we have Introduction to Topology by Theodore Gamelin and Robert Everest Green. The reason I say similarly is because it comes with, I think most or all of the proofs in the back of the book for the exercises. So I learned some point set topology in graduate level real analysis class, but I didn't get to learn the full topic. So I wanted to get this book and learn it on my own. And then we also have elementary number theory, which should be good for upper level undergrads or beginning graduate students. I got this at a bookstore in Portland when I went to a conference for my research. It's by David M. Burton. I would say for prerequisites, there's not much in particular that you could say is a prerequisite for number theory, except just a certain level of mathematical maturity up to maybe like junior or senior year undergrad math student or beginning grad student. And then lastly, we have Calculus AP Edition, which consists of tons of problems and, nice textbook with loads of information on calculus and answers to selected exercises in the back. And if you're, taking calculus in college, this could be definitely useful for you, or AP Calculus. Yeah, so that's my math book collection so far. I believe it's 17 books. It's just the start, really. I am going to build on the collection and get through all the books without rushing it, because I want to make sure I learn the material and then make sure I'm able to make content on this stuff for you guys, like tutorials and problem solving, things like that. I'm definitely going to, take my time, but try to get through all of them in a timely manner. So I'm now going to show these books more close up. We have Differential Equations, Solutions Manual, AP Calculus, Calculus with Multiple Variables, Calculus AP Edition, it's a good number of books to start out. You know, I'm just starting the collection really, so, and I still have to get through most of them, so made headway, a few of them, several of them, so that's about it for my math book collection. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, and don't forget to check out the links in the description. Subscribe for more math content. Thanks.